Well, hello there, you beautiful, beautiful, amazing, wonderful people. This is video 3 of 3. That's it, baby. 3. It's midweek hump, and I thought I'll do you 3 times because it's the midweek hump, and you're looking absolutely amazing. Anyway, let's get straight into the meat and potatoes. As I've got a story to tell you, right, because we are talking about the Jay Slater case again, because even though I've tried to walk away, so many people have turned around and said, you've been threatened, mate. You've been threatened. You've been threatened. I ain't having it. I'm not having it, Arsh. You've definitely been threatened. You've been got to. You have been got to. Like, even Bits and Bobs. He's been... Is it Bits and Bobs? Bobs and Bits. I watched a video, right, and that was fucking funny. Absolutely fucking hilarious. I'm going to pin it in the pin comment. I'm going to pin it in there, and I'm also going to put it in the description that's on this channel. Can't remember the fucking name of the channel, but he's funny. This guy's funny. So go and check him out. He says a lot what I say. But Bob's and Bits, right? So he's, like people say, he's been got to. He's definitely been got to as well. But he comes out and says he's not talking about this no more because there is so much stuff that is untrue, and that would be wrong of him to be talking about this case and pushing stuff that you don't know whether it's accurate or not. Is he fucking kidding? Is he actually kidding? He had this fucking case solved a week ago. Had it solved, mate. But anyway, go check that video out. It's funny. Show some love. Go and subscribe to him as well, because he is funny. Anyway, where the fuck was I? Now I don't know what I'm talking about. Thanks for that, mate. Thanks for that. Anyway, yeah, I've got a story to tell you. So, when I was younger, this is a sad story. You wouldn't think it, but this is a sad story, right? So fucking get the tissues. Go and get a fucking Kleenex. Not like that. Perverts. When I was younger, I was about 18 years old, right? We'd been out, fucking not raving. I weren't into the rave scene. I was more into the dance scene, right? So we'd been out dancing. And we had a mate. And he was designated driver. He was rugby. He was balls deep in rugby, I'm telling you. His father was the chairman of the rugby club. And he would have gone on, which I've kind of ruined it by talking about him in a past tense. You'll see in a minute. He would have gone on to be a professional rugby player. He was built like a brick shit house. He was about 6'4" and big. Do you know what I mean? And he trained all the time. Didn't smoke, didn't drink. He would always drive. Went out. Nothing different than any other day. And you'll see the relevance before you start thinking, what's this got to do with Jay Slater case? I'll get it in a minute. So anyway, we'd go home. He'd drive us all home, drop us all off. And I would wake up the next day at about 12 o'clock. Probably 1 o'clock. And I had about 420 missed calls. And I'm not even fucking joking. It must have been about 420 missed calls. Because my phone was on silent. Phone was on silent. It was on charge, but it was on silent. So I had all these missed calls. And eventually I rung my mate back and I went, I got about 420 missed calls, mate. What's up? This better be important because I've just woke up. We was out last night. We was partying and stuff. Do you know what I mean? We've been out, and when I've been out and getting smashed, I then want to sleep because I'm tired. What do you want? Anyway, I would go on to be told that our mate, his name was Alan, had died in his sleep next to his girlfriend. It would turn out that Alan had a heart condition that he didn't know about, he didn't know anything about, and he would die suddenly in his sleep. He died of acute left ventricle failure. But the point being, and I told you that was going to be a sad story. Bet you feel bad now, don't you? Especially if any of you have fucking laughed through that. But anyway, he would, like I say, he would die. But the point being, we had all been out, and people had learned about what had happened, and they'd tried to ring us all, but we didn't get the message. We didn't know. His partner had tried to ring us all, but we was asleep. Which leads me on to the Jay Slater case. Because there seemed to be, despite the fact that they'd been partying hard. Like, Jay was fucking in a state. He was in a state. The others were fucking shattered, and they'd fucking bunked, mate. They'd gone home. They were done. They were done. They all got up fucking early, though. They were all up early in the morning, ready, raring to go. Even Ayub was up. He was up because he moved his car. He was up, moving his car about. Now, don't get me wrong, they did say that he was going to go back to sleep, but Lucy was up, Brad was up, they were ringing, they were talking to each other on the phone. Lucy was raring to go. She was ready to go to the police. She was ready to, leap into action. Facebook and all that. My phone would have been on silent. My phone would have been silent. Fuck off. I'm sleeping. I would have been up about 1 o'clock. I do find it quite strange that they were all awake. They all awake and up and raring to go, despite the fact they'd all been out and about. Strange, that. Strange. See, these are all the little things. They're all the little, and I'd say before, don't I? The devil's in the detail. It might mean absolutely fuck all. It might mean nothing. But the point being, I was a teenager once, and we went out a lot. A lot. And when I think of the things around the Jay Slater case, I look at it from my teenage perspective. If we'd have been out, would I have been up at that time of the morning? What a fucker's like. There was no fucking way. I'd have gone back to Ayub and Rocky's and I would have crashed the fuck out. Why didn't Jay go there to sleep? If he had been out and he'd have been he was worse for wear at the fucking club, right? It was stated that he was worse for wear at the club. You with me? He then... some fucking confusion over why he even goes back with Rocky and Bullwinkle, but he goes there. And what does he go there for? Because he doesn't go there to party, because they don't party. They don't party. They give him a smoke. They give him a blanket, which is indicative. Up to that point, that is indicative of someone they've gone back to the house and they're like, look, we're going to sleep, mate. We're going to crash. There's a blanket. There's a fag. He has a fag before he goes to sleep. And then he goes to sleep. Everything up to that point kind of makes sense in how I think about how we were as youngsters. Even the fact that someone gives you a blanket and they give you a fag. Do you know what I mean? Your last fag of the evening, I'll have a fag and I'll fucking crash out. But what happened, what then spurred that off in the other direction? Jay didn't even go to sleep. He was still awake and he wanted to get away from that Airbnb. He wanted to get away to the point where he weren't even willing to wait. And he must have been fucking shattered, mate. He would have been fucking shattered. And perhaps that could have played into why he made the errors he did if he was indeed on that walk, which that's still questionable, but hear me out. But if he's not slept for fucking 24 hours and he hasn't got no water, he hasn't got fuck all, he's not got, that is going to play a part of it. There's going to be some mistakes being made. But what I can't get is that none of these fuckers seem to be doing things that goes hand in hand with how youths behave in this situation. Like I say, like Lucy and that being awake, Brad being awake, they're all awake. They don't have a fucking lay-in. They don't. And it might seem stupid. It might seem stupid to you. But think back to when you used to go out and how you were. Just something don't sit right. There was something about this case that don't sit right. I'll catch you all tomorrow.